I didn't realise that I was a full-time carer until I'd been doing it for some time. My own health started to deteriorate, so I think it was then people were saying to me, it's getting too much for you.
I'll find absolutely anything to worry about. One minute I can be fine, but if I'm feeling a bit lonely, then all of a sudden anxiety kicks in, and then I just get all panicky and everything's just awful.
I never kind of felt for years that I had my own core anchor. When something good happens, I go, yay! And then when something bad happens, I go, oh. I was a victim of circumstances, and that massively disempowered me.
My eldest son has always had behavioural problems, and these turned into sort of mental health issues as he became a teenager. He'd always needed a lot of parenting as a child, and as a young adult, it really didn't stop. He didn't become independent as most people do. He brought a lot of chaos into our lives with his difficulties. His behaviour at home was very disruptive, which eventually became too challenging. He became very, very unwell, and he was living here, and we were all struggling really, really badly with that. I didn't really know how I was because I didn't think about it. It sounds weird, but I don't feel like I was anybody. I was just something that facilitated other people's lives to function.
When I was 12, I was diagnosed with type 1 diabetes, and I think that made me really anxious subconsciously because I was always having to worry about sugar levels and what I was eating, and I didn't just have the normal teenage worries that my friends did. Ever since I was diagnosed, I've been in and out of hospital a lot, missed a lot of school, and it just made me quite on edge all the time because I was thinking, is something going to happen that's going to send me back in hospital? I don't like to be seen as inconsistent or unreliable, but my health makes me those two things. So I was having a lot of panic attacks. They were quite spread out at the beginning, and then over time I was having multiple ones a day. I kind of got just really desperate.
I was a part-time teacher. I wasn't happy with what I was doing, and I was signed off work with work-related stress for 3 months. I quit teaching and I started my own design business. What I didn't expect, how isolating it was working on my own at home. 5 days a week, on my own, with my own thoughts, baggage bouncing around in my head. I just couldn't cope with it. Started having very dark thoughts, and I wanted to die. Started planning killing myself. Driving and crying, and parked in the drive, straight in the house, Stanley knife, new blade, upstairs, round the bath. Right, let's do this. Then reality kicked in.
When I first came to Jami, we were really looking at getting support from my social worker, and through that she referred me to a physical well-being specialist. The relationship with Tracy is we do our power walk, and on that walk, we talk while we're walking and we offload. We're just exploring ways all the time of being well physically, which obviously helps with your mental well-being. Jami also are helping my son and supporting him. They thought there might be some activities and support that he could get through them, and it's really nice to know that they're helping family from both sides. There is something about being able to understand somebody's sort of background culturally, so I'm really pleased that he's been able to be helped by a Jewish charity.
When I first met Jami, my life was probably the lowest it's ever been. I wasn't happy in work, I wasn't happy where I was living, and Jami seemed to be the answer to my problems, really. I had decided I wanted to go into teaching, and my peer support worker, Amy, helped me find colleges. She came with me to the interviews, the assessments. I loved the teaching, and I wouldn't be there now if it hadn't been for Jami helping me get to college. Being happier just means that I can keep everything in a better perspective and manage my feelings and my anxiety better, because I've got one less thing to worry about.
After you go into the system, it was just terrifying. You've got to go to hospital because you're not safe at home, because I tried to kill myself. And you go into a place that you do not feel safe. The Jami ladies came in, they sat, they chatted, they connected us with the real world that wasn't just friends and family. And no one else did that. Jami gave me something to think about, which was doing something for other people, being of service to people. I now volunteer at Jami. I felt part of a family, and that is inspiring and very welcoming.
I don't think you ever stop feeling that need to nurture and care. I just realised that it had to stop, and the only way to do that was to have less people to care for, and thankfully through the support of Jami and other services, they are getting help outside of the home, and I can get my life back, and that feels brilliant. I do have a right to a life and to feel good about myself and take time for myself.
Tomorrow is 7 months to the day that I attempted suicide. I feel like I've gone through several years of my life in the last 7 months, and I feel better now than I have ever felt in my life.
My health is always going to be a problem, and it always has been a problem, but everything else in my life is a lot better. So if I could give everyone at Jami a big hug and thank them, because I know the transformation and my family see it, but I don't think they really know how much they've helped me turn my life around.